Welcome to the Veterans Voice, where we highlight programs and services in the greater Houston area for our veterans and their families. I'm your host, Tim Stroud, and I'm ready to jump into it this week because we have three exciting guests. Actually, hold up the number three because we have a Marine joining us today. Oh, I'm going to get a lot for that one. But you'll get to know her, hopefully, as well as I do, because she is with the Office of Veterans and Military Affairs at the City of Houston Mayor's Office. Now, that's a long title because they actually do a whole lot. They're a hub for veteran services, and they do a lot of stuff behind the scenes. And we're going to talk to Dr. LaShondra Jones today to find out what's going on. Hello, Doctor. How are you?
Hi, Tim. Thank you for that awesome intro. Glad to be here. Glad to be here.
Dr. Jones, if you haven't met somebody yet and they had just moved to the city of Houston, what's the first thing you would have them do to plug into the community?
Awesome question. So, of course, we're always having those who are transitioning here, whether it's for the military, the recruiter, or they're transitioning out of the military. But we're always finding veterans that are relocating here or active duty personnel that are moving here. So one of the first things we always do is to tell them to go to our social media page. That's the Mayor's Office of Veteran and Military Affairs. You see all kinds of things, all kinds of things that are happening in the community, and get connected and give us a call, and we'll lead you from there.
You and I get to laugh and joke about a lot of things, and yes, I threw a little jab at the Marines, and during the Marine Corps birthday, I know better, but we're celebrating the Army's birthday this month, and it's like a secret; nobody knows about it, right? But when Devil Dogs throw a celebration, everybody knows about it.
Yes. Yes.
And it's kind of like the city of Houston as well. When you throw a parade, a fair, a festival, an event, people show up in droves because it's kind of like how veterans flock to Texas and to Houston because there's jobs, there's homes, and we treat our veterans and their family members with dignity and respect. Speaking of that, you've got a special program coming up this month for women veterans.
Absolutely. So June 12th is Women Veterans Day, and it's actually celebrated across the nation. Each state, we're looking to make sure that each state is gonna celebrate it. But so year by year, we're finding more states that are sort of catching the fire and finding out about Women Veterans Day and the importance of it. So Texas is one of the very first states that actually have a day that's specifically dedicated to women veterans who serve, who have served, who are no longer here. We just take a time just to say, thank you for your service, and to bring awareness to some things that are happening in our community, and things that have happened to many of us who have served. So it's a day of celebration, a day of camaraderie, a day to just bring women veterans together in the community. And this year, we'll be celebrating Texas Women Veterans Day with a couple of different events. On yesterday, we celebrated with the Texas Veterans Commission. So they did the annual kickoff to Women Veterans Day. And the next event is going to be here at City Hall, City of Houston City Hall, right here in the Legacy Room, which is at 901 Bagby. There's a big celebration that's going to start at noon. And that celebration every year, it honors those women who are either 100, over 100, or nearing 100. This year, our oldest is 103. She's a Navy veteran, and our baby of the group is 72. And so last year, the oldest was 106, and then the next to oldest was 105. So we're looking to find those women who have served, whose shoulders we stand on, and we want to let them know that they are not forgotten, and that we are still standing on their shoulders for the paths that they've laid, and for some of the barriers that they went through. We want to let them know that we honor them. So Houston City Hall, June 12th at noon.
Well, I will raise a toast to them. I don't know if you can see my glass.
And then there's a second one. I want to tell you about.
I was going to say, and now part two.
That's part two. So that one is a ceremony, which is kind of going to be solemn, because we're also going to be honoring a young lady who recently lost her life. She's actively serving. So we're going to take a moment to pause to honor her family as well. However, on June 15th, it's the big celebration. It's the Women Veterans Empowerment Expo. That's a day when we're able to just come together and just have a lot of fun. And that's going to happen at Dress with Success, which is at 1301 East Side Drive, which is over off the Richmond Avenue area. So we're always looking for more women to bring into our community to say, hey, we have a lot of things that are happening, a lot of things going on in the community. We don't want anyone to suffer in silence. We don't want anyone to be isolated or for anyone to feel as if they are alone. So we have these events to bring women veterans out, to just be amongst sisters, just celebrate and have a good time. So we're going to have a lot of resources. We're going to have a lot of breakout sessions and just a good old time.
All right, and let's delineate because we want to be respectful of the events as well. The first one at 901 Bagby, that one's for Lottie Dottie, everybody. But the other event, that's just going to be a ladies or women's only. Is that correct?
Absolutely, no boys allowed.
Okay, I just want to make sure because bald guy will show up with a dog.
Yeah. So here at City Hall, again, it's a ceremony, so anyone is allowed to attend, no matter who you are, no matter what branch, male, female. We want families to come out to honor those women who have served and are still serving, and those who we've actually honored in the recent years that are no longer here with us. So we're taking a moment as well to remember those women who sat on those rows here at City Hall, and they got their flowers just in time and no longer here. So again, anyone in the public is welcome to attend. And so the event on June 15th is girls only. It's just a good old time for women just to get together and just to celebrate each other. So we're looking for anyone to come out. Again, any woman veteran is welcome to attend both events. First event, anyone can come. The second event is women only.
And you've got two more events to save the dates. One is going to be 9/11 and the other one's going to be Veterans Day. Do you want to talk about those?
Absolutely. So this year we're going to be having our very first post 9/11 event where we're going to be honoring those veterans who served in 9/11, those that are still here, those who are no longer here. We're going to take a moment to pause to think about them. The Blue Star moms, Gold Star moms, we're going to have them here as well. So we're looking to have a big ceremony. I want to say celebration because we don't want to celebrate that. Just a ceremony to take a moment so that we're not waiting 30, 40 years like we did with Vietnam to officially welcome them home and just to let them know that we still honor their service. We want to go ahead and honor our 9/11 vets now. And so stay tuned for more information about that. And of course, we always have our Veterans Day celebration where we have the big parade and people come out and just, have their flags and have their stuff that says whatever branch they are. Of course, if it's Marine Corps, we love that as well. But we love all branches, right? So all branches are created equal. So just if you're looking for any information on any events that we have here in the city of Houston, take a look at our webpage. Again, that's MOVMA. If you want to go to our Facebook, our social media, that's the Mayor's Office of Veteran and Military Affairs. And you'll see a lot of things, not just things that we sponsor, but things that the different agencies and other posts, American Legions, VFWs, the events that they have, we try to bring more visibility to them as well.
You've been joining us as we talk to Dr. LaShondra Jones with the city of Houston, and Texas is quickly becoming Houston is becoming the third largest city in the United States. We are quietly taking all the good people from Chicago and bringing them down here, and appreciate your time. And after the break, we're going to meet a veteran who helps others become upward bound.
At HCC, your dreams are within reach.
When I grow up, I want to work at the hospital. When I grow up, I want to work in a lab to build robots.
When I grow up, I want to work at a school and be a teacher.
From classroom to career, we're with you every step. Register for real-world education at hccs.edu.
Let's let Sam know about something even more urgent than his morning coffee.
Hey Sam, did you know it's kitten season? Right now, thousands of kittens are in shelters across the nation, and they're in need of love and care. If you foster a kitten, even for a week, you'll be giving them the chance to grow up and find families of their very own. What's in it for you? You'll get to start your day with a smile, and your social posts will be way cuter too. Save some tiny lives today. Visit bestfriends.org/kittens.
Welcome back to the Veterans Voice. Military service provides opportunities to help others succeed, and veterans often continue to seek that in their civilian work as well. Dr. Barbara Ramirez is the director of HCC's Trio Upward Bound program. Now she's serving after she served. Welcome to the program.
Thank you. Thank you so much for having me.
If you would tell people a little bit about your military service and what you've done to dovetail right into your continuing efforts.
Well, I'm a proud 13-year veteran of the United States Army, HUA, and first generation college student that utilized the military to assist me with my educational goals.
Isn't it just a great feeling? I as well, I'm a third generation military person in my family, but the first to attend college, and just there was a lot of pressure on my shoulders, so I had to make it through. But it was such a blessing to go through. So how did your service time in uniform and all of the experiences that you had while being stationed here in the United States and deployed around the world, how did that help you with your educational goals?
Great question. Great question. I think it made me a more diverse individual, more empathetic individual. Being able to work with a very diverse population of people, because you meet people from all different aspects of life during your military service. And so I think that was the biggest thing, that it opened up doors and gave me an experience that I may not have gotten, coming from small town Shreveport, Louisiana.
That's not a small town, doctor.
It's small compared to most places, especially during my time.
Isn't it crazy how in the snap of a fingers, a city can just grow into a community of care and embrace everybody that comes? And Houston is very well known for that. Besides the oil, the gas, the energy, it's known for welcoming veterans and their family members because of the wraparound services that we have. And one of the top tier things that families look for when they transition is education. Of course, they're looking for jobs, but they have to have that education. And gone are just picking one career path. They want that diversity in there, and they want to be able to grow. And so if you would tell our viewers a little bit more about the TRIO program.
Definitely. The TRIO program consists of 6 different branches of TRIO. Primarily, you could begin working with youth as young as middle school, all the way through graduate school. There's a program for each level, starting with the kids. Our talent search is our middle school, Upward Bound, which is the program that I manage. And then we have student support services that works with college students. And then we have the McNair program, which works with graduate students. And there's also a TRIO veterans program. So there's something for everyone out there, and each different branches of those TRIO programs assist with just a major source of resources for students and adults to participate and achieve their educational goals.
Well, let's dive head first into your program, because that's what we're here to talk about. Let's talk more about the Upward Bound program and who qualifies and what it entails, and what's the first step?
Definitely. Upward Bound primarily works with students 9th through 12th grade. The goal is to bring students in at the beginning of 9th grade and continue with those students through high school graduation and assist them with transitioning into post-secondary education. While those students are with us, we are assisting them with core supplemental work to help them navigate their high school years. And then a great opportunity for them is that if they are attending a school moving forward that has an SSS program, to transition them into that program. Our target population are 3 high schools in the city of Houston for our grant at Houston Community College. That is Chavez High School, Milby High School, and Sanchez High School. Each Upward Bound program has their own set of schools that they would recruit from, and those students. Eligibility is usually first generation college students, disadvantaged youth, and of course, there are some income qualifications for our students.
Okay, and I love all of those qualifiers, and I'm thinking in my head as you're talking. One, I'm enthralled because I want to learn more about the program, and two, how much life has changed in high schools since I've gone, and probably same as you, is that I came from a small farming community of a high school. It was a conglomeration of all the ones together, and we had about 125 people in my senior class. And there are schools in Houston that have over 1,000 seniors. And so, how does the size affect your program?
Well, the size doesn't affect our program too much, so because we are capped, we are federally funded
Okay.
by the Department of Education. So we are pretty much capped for our program at 66 students. And those, like I said, those students generally stay with us from 9th to 12th grade. As our seniors graduate out, we bring in a new cohort of 9th graders to work with. So we're capped. Some programs are capped at 126. Some programs are capped at about 200 students. So I like the numbers because that means that there are a lot more students to contact and reach when we go out to the schools to have those presentations for our recruitment.
Okay, we're probably not going to have a lot of the high schoolers watching this program, but you never know the ones we're going to catch. I want to reach the parents, though, because it seems that some parents are still under the delusionary state that they get to drop their kids off at kindergarten and pick them up on their senior year and they're going to be ready. So there has to be that right seat ride, and they need to help. What would you tell the parents of these students as they get into 9th and 10th grade that they need to prepare for?
Learn as much as you can learn. Be present. You know, a lot of times, like you said, the parents are heavily involved when students are pre-K through 5th grade, sometimes 6th grade. As they age out and become 9th, 10th grade, parents think, okay, I've done my duty. They don't need me as much, but that's when they need you the most. And also, there's so much information out there for parents now to learn about financial aid, college entrance exam. And we have a very good parent component of our program where we hold workshops, seminars, and different things like that to educate our parents on how to assist their students as they're navigating high school and that transition into post-secondary education.
I love it. And I love talking to high schools, and it seemed like you're getting them at exactly the right time to give them the keys for or the secrets of success. And making sure that they are pointed in the right direction, because too often times parents were like, I didn't know. No, you've got plenty of people that are going to help you out. And doctor, thank you so much for making sure that the next generation of leaders are on that right path. And after the break, we're going to learn how veterans and their family members can get help landing just the right job.
At HCC, your dreams are within reach.
When I grow up, I want to work at the hospital. When I grow up, I want to work in a lab to build robots.
When I grow up, I want to work at a school and be a teacher.
From classroom to career, we're with you every step. Register for real-world education at hccs.edu.
Welcome back to the Veterans Voice. We want to talk about separation from the military. It marks a major change in most everyone's life, especially in their professional lives. But there are resources that make the transition easier. Finally, I don't know where they were when I was transitioning. And we're joined by a great friend of mine, Mr. Jose Meras. He is the employment specialist for the Veterans Employment and Training Services program at Goodwill Houston. Welcome to the program.
Thank you, Tim. I appreciate it. Long time no see.
Oh man, we've known each other for almost like 10 years, right?
Yes, absolutely.
In that time,
I think
you've
it was
helped.
the last century I saw you.
Well, we'll have to plan a coffee date and definitely get in there.
Absolutely.
For those of our listeners that aren't familiar with the Goodwill's Vets program, would you tell them a little bit more about the entry program?
Absolutely. You know, so many people see Goodwill. We have all these stores out there, but you know, there's this part of Goodwill called the Workforce Development Program, and we have a special program called the Goodwill Veterans Employment and Training Services Program, or VETS. And this goal of this program is to help veterans find their next career, to provide job search assistance for these veterans. And the neat thing is that the veterans that we serve are not just people that are active duty service member, people from the Guard, people from the reserves, people that are ex-offenders, older workers. As long as you serve one day on active duty, you're welcome to our program.
Oh, that's great. And for every person that is listening to this right now, if you're hiring veterans, make sure that you contact Jose, and his contact information will be at the end of this video, because our military members know right time, right place, right uniform, right attitude. That's 80% of it. And then Jose and his team make sure that they're spit and polished for the rest of it. A brief tangent on this one, Jose. So if it's a young lady, she can go to Dress for Success. If it's a young man, they can go to Career Gear and get their professional outfits. Besides those, what else do you help them get into the civilian job market?
Well, one of the things that we do is we try to stay, this is real important in terms of the job search journey, is staying abreast of the trends for job search. For one thing, it was just last summer I found myself, before joining Goodyear, I was in between jobs. And one thing I learned last year is that if you've been out of the job market for a very long time, sometimes you may not have that ready-made network needed to succeed in your job search. And having a network of people, and especially military veterans, is a big boost to the job search. So that's one thing I've learned, and that's one thing that we do is we focus on all aspects of getting the veteran toward where they need to be in terms of the job. We want to make sure that their LinkedIn profile is optimized. We want to make sure that they have the interviewing skills. We want to make sure that their resume is up to shape, and making sure also that they're going for the right job or the career that they want to go to. And we aim to assist the veteran make sure that we hit each of those marks up to the point where they're employed.
Oh, that's excellent. And I've actually taught some of the classes at Goodwill before on LinkedIn. And if that door is open, please let me know. We'll schedule a class.
Absolutely. We would love to have you join us for that, because, and that's one thing. And I'm finding that even veterans that are transitioning out of the military, or veterans that have been out of the workforce for a while, it is really important and critical to have that LinkedIn profile. It's a great way to network with employers, potential employers, with other people, other military veterans. And even now, veterans are not aware of the special benefit. If they are a veteran, they provide the documentation to LinkedIn. They get a 1 year's free premium subscription to LinkedIn.
And that is amazing, because the normal rate, I think it's $30 or $35 a month if you want to get that one. So you're talking $400 a year, you get free as a veteran. And I do believe spouses also get that same benefit, Jose, which is
great. They do.
And that's just part of it. And like you said, it's what my grandfather, and probably yours, taught you the same thing, is dig the well before you're thirsty.
Exactly.
Make sure you have those connections. I'm sorry, go ahead.
Yeah. If I may, I'd like to also mention that is in terms of training programs, where I sit, my office is at the Goodwill River Oaks Career Center. We have a career center, and we have programs that we offer free programs to veterans the family members, if they're interested in getting some of the, let me explain. We have Google IT Support Specialist Professional Certificate Program. We have an Apartment Maintenance Professionals Program. We have a very new program. The Goodwill River Oak Center is one of 3 Goodwill centers in the United States to host a pilot program. It's called the Clean Tech Accelerator Program, or CTA. And we have people, we train them right from the ground, and within 5 weeks, they can become certified heat pump technicians. So there's a lot of good programs out there. Other than just providing job search assistance, we can provide training for veterans to get ready for the civilian workplace.
And I love that. I know there's career fairs and job fairs all around Houston, and I love that we have them. But it's kind of daunting when you go there. Everything I just mentioned, you have to have, but it's also great to go with a buddy and network together. That way, it's kind of like going to a dance. I mean, let's face it, we're too old to go to the club, but if we're going to go dancing, you don't want to go to the dance by yourself. You always take a partner, right?
Exactly.
That, and you have to be prepared, and that means doing your due diligence, picking your top 5 or top 10 employers that you want to be sanctioned with, and that means you get to interview them, find out if it's a happy marriage. Otherwise, it doesn't matter what it pays. You may be frustrated and be on the unemployment line before you know it.
Exactly.
What's the first step that you would have somebody take besides contacting you? Is there a specific place to start, or does it matter? They can get into that line anywhere?
No, they can get to, basically what we do is we want to meet the veteran at their need. So any veteran that's interested in joining the VETS program, what they do is every Monday over here at 2520 Brun at the River Oak Career Center, we have an information session.
Okay.
All the veteran needs to do is bring his or her DD Form 214, signed Social Security card, and a state ID or state driver's license, and then just come on in, and we'll go. The first information session lasts about 4 hours. They'll go ahead and they'll fill out some paperwork, and then we'll immediately start hitting interview skills, resume skills. We'll have them take the ONET, which helps determine what career field is going to be appropriate for them. And then that's not the only thing. We have a whole week where the next day, on the second day, we get more in depth on interviewing skills, on preparing a proper resume. We have a job club. We also have employers that come in for job fairs. We have them come in on Thursdays.
Excellent. So Jose, I have to stop you there. It seems like you and I could talk about this ad nauseum.
Oh my God, absolutely.
If you would like more information on any of the services or organizations that you've seen on the program today, visit our website at hccs.edu/VeteransVoice. To listen to a podcast version of this show, visit hccs.edu/podcast. For everyone here at HCC TV and at Stay Tuned, thank you for joining us on the Veterans Voice.